And so we just begin with being with our mind and body as it is, knowing that it's temporary, whatever's here. And tonight we'll go ahead and do a light scan again. And so we'll just begin with our feet and just take a moment to notice how your feet are in this moment. They may feel relaxed, or they may feel tight or achy. And you can include your ankles. And whatever you find, simply allow it. No need to fight with it or try to change it. Just knowing that this is temporary. And just letting your feet be as they are in this moment. Just having a little attitude of acceptance. And then allowing your attention to come up into your legs and just noticing your calf and shin area. Again, just noticing what's here. They may be relaxed and at ease, or they may be throbbing or have tightness or pain. And again, just simply allowing what's here. You may notice that as you allow, that there's a certain kind of relaxing or softening that happens. And then allowing your attention to come up through your knees and into your thighs so that your whole leg is in your awareness. And again, allowing whatever you find here. No contention, just a simple, soft acceptance. Oh, it's like this now. And then bringing your attention into your pelvic area, your pelvic floor, and your hips. And allowing what's here. Knowing that this too is temporary. And then coming up into your torso And just noticing your belly and abdomen area. And just letting there be, allowing for what's here. Again, there may be some tightness or bracing, or it may be fully relaxed. Whatever you find here, just having a simple, soft acceptance. Take a moment to include the rest of your torso. Taking a moment to notice your back. And just making space for whatever's here. Making more space for your back the way it is in this moment. And taking a moment to just notice your organs, or just incline the mind to include your organs. And allowing them to be how they are today, in this moment. And particularly including your heart. Whatever's here in your heart today, whatever feelings are here, allowing this to be just as it is. And making sure to include your shoulders. And your arms and hands. Again, just allowing what's here. If your arms are heavy, letting them be heavy. If they're tight, allowing that they're tight right now. Noticing how your hands and fingers are, your thumbs. Oh, they're like this. Whatever's here is temporary. And then allowing your awareness to come into your neck. And allow what you find here to just be. May feel relaxed and open, or you have a sore throat, or your neck is tight. Simply meeting it with no contention, just allowing it to be as it is. And just noticing what it's like when we allow our body to be as it is. And bringing our attention now into our head. And noticing how this is. Our head may feel heavy or light, may feel open or tight and pressured. And again, simply being with it the way it is. And paying particular attention to your face. No need to change it. Just, oh, it's like this. And just noticing how it is for you when you let your body be as it is. Notice the quality of mind and heart in this moment. And feeling into that which allows, the one that allows. Noticing what this energy is like. It may feel peaceful, or feels like awareness, watching. Or it may feel like an energy in relationship to what is. Flowing with whatever is arising. Allow yourself to just be the one that allows. Letting yourself breathe with it, allowing it to get as big as it wants. I'm remembering this part. Letting yourself rest in your accepting nature. And I'll read this quote. Mindfulness is to be aware of every thought and feeling. Never to say it is right or wrong, but just to watch it and move with it. In that watching, you begin to understand the whole movement of thought and feeling. And out of this awareness comes great silence. So hopefully you're feeling a little more relaxed at the moment. So this evening, I wanted to talk about the magic of mindfulness. And just to kind of settle ourselves and perhaps broaden our experience and our perspective of it. And so I just want to talk about that oftentimes we don't realize. We have this idea in our head that mindfulness means just meditating on a cushion or being in centering prayer, something like that. And in truth, we need mindfulness all through our day. It's actually the foundation and the seat of our life, our aliveness. And so I just want to talk tonight about the different ways in which mindfulness plays a role in our life, so that you're not confused about thinking it has something to do with sitting on meditation cushions. So, the first place that mindfulness is essential in our life is in this emptying out to where we can find peace. So in the ordinary busy mind, we miss our life, right? We all know that phrase of being on autopilot. Have you ever driven somewhere and you don't remember how you got there, right? You just kind of show up and you're like, I don't recall the last half hour of my life, right? Because we're too busy thinking, processing, doing. And so in order to have peace, in order to have this kind of grounding in ourselves, we have to empty out our mind of all that busyness and arrive here, just right here in this moment. Oh, body's like this, my mind's like this, emptying out on the breath, on the out breath, breathing out tension. And so we can't have this kind of peace. We can't touch peace in our life or have sanity in our life without these moments of mindfulness showing up. So that's the first way that we need mindfulness in our life beyond sitting on a cushion, right? The second way is that mindfulness is where life happens. So if you think about things like listening to a bird, you're in the forest and you're walking and suddenly there's a bird song and you stop and you just take it in. That's a moment of mindfulness, right? It's the same if you come into your house on the holidays and the house smells of wonderful cooking smells. You know, maybe somebody makes an apple pie that you love, or, you know, you love turkey Thanksgiving dinner or something like that. And you come in the house and there's just this moment of, oh, that smell. And right there, that's a moment of mindfulness, right? You probably walked in the door with, so anyway, I got to pay my bills, and then I got to call so-and-so, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it just stopped you. And you breathe it in, and it fills your whole body with joy and love and happiness. And we often, in our practice here, we often take it one step further. Often what I'll say is, you know, we know from neuroscience that if you just touch something and move off it, it doesn't really nourish. So you have to breathe it in for about 30 seconds. So a lot of times I'll say, oh, notice gratitude or notice joy. And then I'll say, breathe it through your whole body. Take a moment to breathe it through your whole body. And as you're doing that, you're actually locking it in. You're actually creating memory for it. So we can't actually enjoy these gifts in life without stopping and being mindful of them for a moment, which is so beautiful. It's the same with intimacy. You know, whether you're snuggling with your kid or your favorite pet or your partner, you know, intimacy happens in a moment of mindfulness. One has to stop and show up with their dog or their cat or their partner in order for it to happen, in order for connection to happen. Yeah. I'm going to show this picture. Some of you have probably seen it before, but I figure I love this photograph. Somebody shared it with me a couple of years ago. So I don't know if you can see it. Can you guys see that? Okay. And I love it. Why the dog is happier, right? The dog's like, I'm just here with you. Meanwhile, the guy's like, oh, my house payments, my car, my money, my finances. And he wonders why he's not as nourished and wagging his tail at the end of it as the dog is when he gets home. He's had a lovely day with you. You know, you were somewhere else, right? So that's where life happens, is in a moment of mindfulness, right? So all that joy that we're looking for. Yeah, like right here, I just stop. And it's like, oh, I feel myself going a little too fast. Slow down, just take a breath. And it's like, oh, I come home to myself. Right in that moment, just like, oh yeah, okay. Being mindful here, right? Yeah, it's yummy. So the other place that we need mindfulness, and life in fact happens only with mindfulness this way, is when we want to change problems or fix something in our life. So you can't fix something in your life if you're not mindful of it. So let's say you want to stop drinking, or you want to stop overeating, or you want to stop smoking, or whatever. It's like the only way that's going to happen is if you catch yourself having a craving, or you catch yourself, you say, okay, I don't want to yell anymore at people. And you find yourself going to yell, and there's that moment you catch yourself and, oh yeah, I remember, I don't want to yell. Oh God, what's happening here? Oh, feeling rage, feeling upset. Oh yeah, it's only with that mindfulness that you have a chance of catching old behaviors that aren't helpful for you and changing them. Yeah. So we need it to fix our problems. We need it to be aware of difficulties we're having. I love this quote. You cannot be rid of your problems without abandoning your illusions. And so we have to be mindful of the illusions we have. We have to be mindful of the meaning we made, right? I mean, you may look at your partner and say, stop acting like my mother, stop acting like your mother, right? It's like, oh, what's the illusion right there, right? That's not my mother, so stop acting that way. Or that's not my father, stop acting that way. So we can only change our life with mindfulness. We can only have enough mindfulness to say, oh yeah, I want to go swimming, or I want to make sure I sit on the cushion every day and take 10 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour to just sit and be in my life. So we need mindfulness for anything we want to change in life. Just something to remember and keep in mind. The other thing that I notice, right now I'm just mindful of, somebody sent a message. The other thing that I'm noticing too is that you need mindfulness for knowing your true nature. You're not going to know your deepest true nature unless you have a practice of mindfulness. And so this can be from deepening into yourself and knowing your own mind and your own psyche. And okay, so what's my old conditioning? And if I put that down, who am I without that conditioning? Oh, I feel much more free. Oh, there's my true nature. I'm much more free without all that sticky conditioning, right? Or in practices like sometimes what we do here is, I'll touch into something with you, maybe essence or something like that, or peace, and then I'll say, go ahead and breathe it and let it get as big as it wants, right? And so there's this moment that we grow. We allow ourselves to get, let the love or the peace get as big as the room. Sometimes it gets bigger than the room. Sometimes it becomes the whole universe. And it's in those moments of mindfulness that we have these spiritual experiences where we feel like we touch the one, or we touch God, or we understand love as an alive, dynamic force rather than just a feeling. It's way beyond just a feeling. But you can't have these moments in life without mindfulness. If you're running around with a busy mind all day, then you miss out on those spiritual moments, those moments where we touch into that which is beyond our everyday life, our human life. And it's really interesting because when I look at things like where people argue spiritually or in religions or those kinds of things, I always see that as really an issue of mindfulness, right? It's kind of like the three blind men and the elephant, right? One grabs the leg and says it's thick and heavy, and someone else grabs the trunk and says, no, it's long and windy, And it's like, well, are they, who's right, who's wrong? Well, they're all right, but they're all wrong if they only stay with that one time, that one experience. The spiritual life is so big that it calls on us to use our mindfulness to explore many, many times, many different ways. That's the only way you get to know, oh, there's a trunk, there's a leg, there's a tail, there's an ear. And you don't have to argue with somebody who says, well, when I went and got mindful, I found an ear. And if you've only found the leg, you don't have to argue and say, well, you're wrong. You can have a little curiosity like, well, let me try more mindfulness and see what happens. So we need mindfulness for this broader, expansive exploration of who we truly are at our core, our heart, our soul, our deepest intentions. We can't know these things without being mindful. Here's a quote that you probably have heard before, but famous quote from Hakuin, who is was a Zen master. When you forget yourself, you become the universe. When you forget yourself, you become the universe. When you put down all that busyness in mind and thinking and conditioning, and you put it all down for a moment, there's an opening that's possible into something else. I love that. So this mindful practice that we have is so much more than I just sat on a cushion and I stayed in touch with my breathing, or I just emptied out and sat in emptiness. It actually, mindfulness it becomes a way of being after a while. You know, Thich Nhat Hanh has this quote, when we touch others with our mindfulness, they bloom like flowers. It's this idea that when we're mindful and still and all that noise is gone and we are our true nature, that which we are in that moment is so wise, is so connected and related, that the way we touch other human beings, other beings totally, our pets, whoever, it actually is this deep relational piece that actually opens their mindfulness, their softness, their love within them. You know, we use this sometimes if you've ever tried to calm somebody down who's out of control. And if you think about it, you have to come in with a pretty calm mind. And when you touch them with your calmness, whether it's a crying kid or, you know, you're at work and one of your, co-workers is going off for a moment, but you walk in with that mindfulness and you say, hey, what's going on? Calm down. And your presence, your very presence, actually calms that person down, actually cools the whole situation. So it becomes this way of being after a while. It's not something we do for 10 minutes or an hour a day. It becomes the way we walk through the world. We're walking through the world more mindfully, more aware, more calm, more connected. So it can be quite beautiful, quite beautiful. When I think about it and I feel into it, it feels as if, for myself, may not be this way for you, but it feels as if everything we want in life, everything we dream of, if you want more intimacy in your life, if you want more joy in your life, if you want more peace of mind in your life, whatever it is you think you want in your life, it actually isn't possible without the foundation of mindfulness. So mindfulness actually creates the life you're hungering for, which is really a cool thing. I don't think most of the time we realize that this foundation is a part of our dreams. And yet, I don't think we can make anything happen without it. Right? It's who we are when we're doing our favorite hobby. Whether you're skiing down the mountain or you're carving a piece of wood or you're dancing whatever your favorite hobby is, that's a moment when you are really mindful, really in the moment, in the dance, in the movement. Maybe when you are your happiest self. And so I hope that you can taste this idea that mindfulness is so much more than just sitting on a cushion and concentrating. It's actually this way of being that makes good stuff happen in your life, makes all the good stuff happen. So if you need some good stuff to happen, take a moment to stop and get mindful. Empty out all those extra thoughts and all the worries. Settle back into your essence, into your natural self. Take a breath. And then right in that wisdom, it's like, okay, what's the next right thing? What's the next step? And chances are things will start to get better. At least I think they will. I'm pretty sure they will. We can't do anything about the rest of the world, but we can change how we meet it and dance with it, right? It's why I love Aikido, for instance, right? In Aikido, it is the art of reconciliation. Mindfully, we meet that which is. So in Aikido, if somebody's going to punch you, you don't fight it, right? You allow it. There's this moment where they punch and you allow. And then you dance. You move with the person. And somehow they end up on the floor. But it's quite magical. It's quite magical. So that was, part of what we were practicing tonight with this allowing. It's just meeting the body as it is, bringing a mind of mindfulness rather than fighting. So if there's pain in the body, it's not, oh, there shouldn't be pain. It's, oh, there's pain. If there's tightness, oh, there's tightness. And hopefully you can feel in that movement, hopefully you felt it in the sit, that the more you kept allowing, the softer it got, the easier it got. Perhaps even your pain or tension started to dissolve a little bit. Wasn't quite as tight when you weren't fighting it. So I hope that this makes sense to you. I'll just read this last quote. Pour the magic of passion and attention, mindfulness, into everything you do. Don't think of anything. Just be here right now while doing every single little action you do. Talking, writing, art, poetry, sex, dreams, love, the world, yourself, everything. This is true mindfulness, to do things with your full attention and passion. And I would say that it'll create quite a different world for you when you do. So, The field of mindfulness is amazing. It's a beautiful place to live. So I hope this is of benefit to your practice and that it serves all the good stuff in life you want and you hope for. Let's take a moment for a mindful moment just to share beyond ourselves. Yeah. So you can close your eyes if you like. So may we all find the field of mindfulness and let it become a way of being. May it open our hearts and minds, allowing and teaching us how to dance with the world so that we can be in the best relationship with everything. And may our practice and our mindfulness ripple out beyond us to positively touch all beings. So that the field of mindfulness grows on the planet and all beings know the peace and wonder and wisdom of being mindful themselves. May it bring the deepest wisdom and the deepest happiness. Thanks, everyone. So, So it's wonderful to sit with you all. Thank you for sharing practice with me. Hope it's helpful. And thank you for your support. This evening or this month, I'd like to just extend an invitation that if you're thinking about your year-end giving and you'd like to support True Success and the work that Mark and I are doing, you can make donations at truesuccessforall.com. And Mark and I don't take any money from that. We just use it right now. Mark is using it to make videos for you guys where he's teaching about how to live more successfully. So if you feel like supporting that venture, you can go to truesuccessforall.com. And I will put up a copy of this video up on fallon-cyr.com so that if you're interested in hearing it again or want to share it with someone, feel free. And one other thing. If you would like to get email reminders about our sits, you can go to fallon-cyr.com or truesuccessforall.com and just sign up for your emails, and then you'll get put into the loop that does the reminders. So for those of you who would like to be reminded. So thank you. It's wonderful to sit with you. And hope you guys all have a lovely week and take care.